Well, we're going to give this copper stuff another shot. Let's go. What's up, guys and gals? Joe here from scruffyarms.com and the Scruffy Fam. So, before hunting season, when I got the Remington 700 SPS Tactical, I did a whole bunch of different brands of ammo. We did some ammo testing, and we came down to that this rifle liked the 165 grain Remington core lock tipped. So it shot really well. I mean, the smallest group I've ever shot out of it, so it did really good. But the third smallest group I did was actually one of the copper ones, and it was the Federal Terminal Ascent. Ridiculously expensive for a box of that stuff, so I would expect it to do well. But the first group it shot was over 2 inches, and the second group it shot was about ½ an inch. So I did some research on copper bullets, and we can get into a debate, if you guys would like, on the validity of copper versus the traditional cup and core lead bullets and all of that. The more I'm reading, the more I'm looking into it, I do think that I want to move primarily to copper bullets. Whether that be through hand loading or whether that be through purchasing reputable brands, that's something that I'm really thinking about doing, and I just might do. The penetration of copper and its ability to hold together is a sight to behold. Everybody I've talked to, all the research I've done shows that copper bullets stay together really well, and you're not concerned about any of the lead or lead poisoning or any of that stuff. So a lot of states have already been moving towards copper only, so I think this is something that I'm going to go ahead and do myself. So I've got 3 different types of ammo still. I'm going to use the exact same ammo that I did before. I've got the Hornady Outfitter CX, I've got the Barnes Vortex, and then I've also got the Federal Terminal Ascent. Now I've got all 3 of those boxes. We're going to give all 3 of them a try. So the other thing that I messed up with last time, and it's just my lack of knowledge when it came to copper bullets, was I didn't clean the rifle after I shot all of the traditional cup and core and lead bullets. I didn't do that. I went from shooting all those to shooting the copper. And when you shoot copper bullets, you need a clean barrel. It needs to be scrubbed all the way down. You need to remove all of the copper and lead fouling previously, because I guess it gives it some impurities that can really mess up the copper as it's moving through the barrel and will mess with your accuracy. So it would make sense that the very last group I shot was that Federal Terminal Ascent that got a very small group. So the other 2 groups were okay, or the other 5 groups that I shot before were okay, but that final group was definitely something to make me think about. So what we're gonna do is we are heading out to the range. It is a balmy 44 degrees today. Guys, that is the warmest it has been in the last 2 months here. I haven't shot since hunting season, and my hunting season ended, end of November. So I am very excited to get out to the range and get shooting today. We're gonna get this thing bore sighted. I did put a new optic on the Remington. I put the Blackhound Genesis on there. I liked the Right-On better on my 6.5 Creedmoor. But we'll take a look at the rifle and everything I got on it when we get out there. We'll get it bore scoped, get it out to 100, and start doing some ammo tests. So stick with me. Here we go. Guys, we're set up here at the 100-yard range. Went to the 25-yard range and got my bore sight. So what I do for that is I've got a laser that I put on the barrel, and then what you do is you measure from the middle of your barrel up to the middle of your optic, and you want your reticle and your barrel. So the laser is on the middle of my target, and then my optic crosshairs are about 2 1/4 inches higher than that, because that's the measurement here. What that should do is here at 100 yards, it should put me on paper and close. And then I just need to adjust my optic to get on. So for those of you that are new, this is a Remington 700 SPS Tactical. It is the new Remington 700 SPS Tactical with the Timney trigger. I have a Yankee Hill resonator case suppressor on the end. We have the Blackhound Genesis 4x14x44 first focal plane. I did a video on that. It's got quite a few views if you guys are curious about that. I did a full review on this Remington 700 as well. And I guess reviews from the industry are also really, really good because these are hard to come by. They are out of stock everywhere, waiting on new shipments. So the ammo that we're going to be using today is the 165 grain Federal Premium Trophy Copper. Sorry, so it wasn't the Terminal Ascent. It was the Federal Premium Trophy Copper. This stuff had the smallest group, but it wasn't very consistent. I had one big group, one small group. The Barnes Vortex, this stuff did really well, actually. It is 168 grain. This stuff was the most consistent, so we're going to zero with this. And then the Hornady Outfitter with the CX, and this is 165 grain. So we're going to try all three of these. I'm going to zero it here with the Barnes Vortex. Then we'll group it with the other two. It is, right now, it's about 30-something degrees out here, so I'm not overly concerned with the barrel heating up too much. This is also a thicker barrel, so it doesn't heat up as much. But we'll get it zeroed real quick, and then we'll get into grouping. So let me get set up here, and we'll get on it. All right, guys, I got everything zeroed. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do the group test. We're going to start with the Barnes. We'll do that on the top left of the left target. Then after that, we will do the Federal, and we'll do that on the bottom of the left target. And then we'll do the Hornady on the right target, and we'll do the top there. So we got zeroed. We're on. Just letting everything cool off a little bit. When you're shooting with a suppressor, that suppressor can heat up pretty quick, and you'll start to get a mirage off of it. I am going to get a cover for it to absorb some of that mirage building. That's a lesson learned that I've got, and if you guys are going to run a suppressor, probably not a bad idea to get one of those covers on it if you're going to do any group testing or anything, so you don't get that mirage. But there's a thicker barrel on this rifle, so it doesn't heat up really bad. It stays pretty consistent. It's meant to be shot a lot, so as I said, I'm going to load up 3 rounds of this Barnes. We'll shoot that. Then we'll let it cool off a little bit. I'll shoot another 3, and we'll just keep on with this ammo test. So I'm going to load up 3 right now, and let's send these down and see how it groups. So in my initial ammo test that I did, this tested the best out of everything. So let's see. It wasn't the best, but it was the most consistent. So all right, let's see here. Make sure I do all of the things right. If I do all of the things right, we'll let the rifle do all of its things, and we should have a pretty good shooting here. So, all right, top left target. Alright, well, it's a pretty wide group. It's a consistent group, but it's a wide group. Alright, we'll let this cool for a couple minutes. We'll send another 3. Alright guys, been a couple minutes, so we've let it cool off. Let's send 3 more rounds of this Barnes. Down there, first group was pretty big, so let's see what happens here. Alright, that was a little bit better. Tell you what, let's go walk and look at it. I'll give a chance for the rifle to cool off, and we'll see how the barns did. Alright guys, well, not the best results. Let's take a look here. So, here's the first group. So that's about a 2-inch group there. And so's that. So, I think we can bring it up a little bit. We'll bring, just for the sake of continuing testing here, we'll bring it up just a hair. This was centered on, this I was pulling to the left. Figure out what that is. But we'll move on to the next one. And yeah, so next we'll shoot the Federal. We'll shoot the Federal on the same target. I know that we got that one flyer, so that's not a big deal. But this is what I'm seeing with the copper ammo out of my rifles, is that I don't know, I just haven't seen them grouping really well. That'll definitely, for hunting, that is perfectly acceptable, okay? Don't get me wrong, for hunting, that is perfectly acceptable when you're talking about a 6 to 8 inch breadbasket for a deer. That is perfectly fine, okay? So you're gonna hit a deer, it's gonna penetrate, it's gonna kill the deer, okay? But you do wanna make sure that you're as precise as possible. I wanna get those groups smaller so that I have options of high shoulder shots or breadbasket shots. So, little disappointed. I had some hopes for that Barnes, but last time it was holding about just over 1 inch of a group. This today is about 1.5 inch group. So that is what it is. Let's move on. I'll tell you what, actually we're gonna do the Hornady next. So I'm gonna load up some Hornady. We'll continue to let the barrel cool a little bit. I'm gonna load up some of the Hornady Outfitter CX. I'm gonna make that adjustment in the optic just to bring it up a little bit. We'll go same page for the Hornady as we did with the Barnes. And we'll do the Federal on the last page. Let's see what happens here, guys. We'll give it a try. Alright, so we got some of this Hornady Outfitter loaded up. If you guys haven't seen that, here you go. It's that nickel plated. Of all of them, this is the most affordable of the copper ammo. So I would really love if this grouped well, because it's readily available. Hornady's a really great company, and it's easy to get. Now, Remington just announced some copper stuff, and so maybe the Remington will do well out of here, but let's see what we got for this right now. I got 3 rounds loaded up. I made that minor adjustment in the optic just to bring it up a little bit. Let's send 3 of these Outfitter down there and see how it groups. I think one of those shots wasn't even on the paper. So let's load up another 3. I made some adjustments in the scope just to make sure that we can actually get on the paper. 2 of those shots were really close together, so that's promise. Let's see if we can get 3 of those shots really close together. Alright, well, there's a pretty heavy mirage going on right now. So, I'm going to walk down and check that out. Let's see what we did. Alright guys, I didn't realize that the battery died in the GoPro while I was shooting. So, it is cold out here today, so that this GoPro probably doesn't like that. But, man, a mixed bag again today. Well, let's look and see what happened. Alright, so this was the first group of barns, these 3 here. We're looking at probably 1.5-inch group. Then over here, second group of barns. That's probably almost a 2-inch group. And then here was our first outfitter. We're off the page. Okay, made an adjustment in the optic. And then we got this group, which is, I'm going to say, just under 1 inch. So that's promising. I like to see that. Then I needed to check the 0. There was something going on with the optic, so I was aiming here and we hit here, so I made an adjustment. That's why you see a shot here and a shot here. Those are not part of any groups. So the first Federal was that, which, that had to have been me. To be that far off, that had to have been me, because I shot it again, and then we got this. So in all of these, after this first shot, 2 are really close in all of them. And then there's 1 flying. So, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I like what copper bullets can offer you. And I think I just need to shoot them more out of this rifle. And all of them at different points have done really well. Now, I think that my next step is I'll get some more of the Hornady Outfitter, because that has grouped really well. I'll finish shooting up this Federal. It has just been really inconsistent. I had one good group and then 3 not so great. The Hornady has been getting smaller and smaller, so I'll get some more of that CX. We'll shoot some of that, and then I'll see if I can get a hold of some of this Remington copper, and we'll give that a try in this too and see what happens. But mixed results today, guys. I'm not even going to worry about measuring these because I can see just by looking at them what I like and don't like. These squares that I'm using are 3-inch squares. The red in the middle is a 1-inch square. So, yeah, mixed bag. The good thing is, this is the last day of January, and I've got all the way until November to figure this out. So, guys, thank you all for stuck around this long. It's my first day back at the range in a long time. I'm happy to be out shooting again. We got a lot of other stuff here at the range coming really soon. We got to check out how the 6.5 Creedmoor is going to do suppressed. We got to see how the 7.62 by 39 is going to be suppressed. I have a new shotgun coming. There'll be a lot of stuff on that. I'm really excited for it. And we'll go from there. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notifications, and as always, guys, stay blessed.